Welcome to today's podcast, The Secrets of Project Management, the Good, the Bad and the Ugly. My name is Andy Morris and today's topic is all about how do I stop a car crash project? This session is going to be useful for new project managers and also experienced project managers alike. And I have a wonderful panel to support today's discussions, and without further ado, let's allow them to introduce themselves. First of all, Emmy. Hello, Emmy. Please tell us who you are and what you do and why join today's podcast.
Hi listeners, my name is Emmanuelle Sheehan. I'm a change specialist of over 15 years. I'm a founder and director of an organisation, but more importantly, I'm a team member of the Pivotal Change Academy. I joined this because I love a good gossip and I love a good moan. So that's what I'm hoping to do here. And I'm looking forward to hearing everyone else.
Thank you. Welcome, Emmy. And we also have Jerry here as well. Hello, Jerry. Please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and why join the podcast today.
Hi everyone, I'm Jerry Steinhauer. I'm a director of Explain Training, and I'm here because I got invited by the Pivotal Change Academy to contribute, and I want to give something back because I've been doing this for years.
Thank you, Jerry. Welcome. And we also have Yao with us today. Hello, Yao. Please say hello and tell us what you do and why did you join today's podcast?
Hi, my name is Yao and I'm a business analyst, trainer and consultant. I also run Checkers Strategic Consulting, where we advise businesses on effectively delivering change. Now, I believe business analysts have questions. People have questions. And I think this is a perfect platform where a lot of their questions could be addressed, which is why I'm happy to be on this podcast.
Okay, welcome, Yao. Thank you. Well, for our three panel members today, I've got a list of questions to help us out with today's topic. And the first one's going to go to Emmy. Please, Emmy, hello. What is the definition of a car crash project?
Anything where a project doesn't deliver what it was intended to, if it costs more than what it gets at the end, so more than the benefits, and finally, if it damages reputation, capability, or motivation, anything like that, it's a car crash.
Okay, so clearly we're heading towards project failure there. Thank you. Well, that's appropriate because the next question is going to go out to the three of the panel members here. And we're going to ask you to provide one technique that a project manager could use to deploy quickly if their project was failing. So first of all, Yao, from a business analysis point of view, could you please provide a technique which is useful?
Very interesting question, Andy. And now I find it interesting because I have a bag full of techniques that a project manager could apply. But in this case, I think it's very important to identify why the project is failing. We need to know. And one tool and technique that's perfect for that is root cause analysis. And within root cause, we can use the Ishikawa diagram. We could also use the 5 whys technique, which is a great tool. It's a bottom-up approach to help identify root causes so we can find why the project is failing first.
Okay, thank you very much, Yao. And over to Jerry, could you please offer up an agile technique perhaps?
Yeah. Well, my flippant comment is agile projects don't fail, so it doesn't happen. But should you find yourself in that situation, Agile's got equally has got a bag of techniques. Sorry, Agile equally has a bag of techniques. The ones that come to mind are Moscow, recategorizing, re-identifying what's critical in your project, Kanban then to actually display what's being done so that you can track things, you can keep things on course, and just the communication and collaboration that Agile brings.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry. And then over to Emmy, from a change management perspective, could you share a technique with us, please?
Well, unlike Yao and Jerry, I'm going to give one technique, and that's going to be the Beckhard and Harris formula. It's called the change formula. The rule of thumb is if you don't have these 3 elements within your project, it will fail. So the first element is that people have to hate the status quo. If they like it, they won't change. They won't use your product at the end of the project. 2, they have to believe in the vision, so the future state, the purpose of the project, And then finally, they have to absolutely, without a doubt, think it's practical. So we've all been in projects where we feel like they're not doable. So unless you have all three, your project will fail. So this is a great tool that you can use before your project, during and after. If you're in a car crash, go back. Do you have all three elements? If you don't, get it fixed.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Emmy. The next question I've got here down on the screen is for Yao. What should a project manager do if they're working with a sponsor that doesn't know what they want? So maybe some unclear project outcomes, perhaps.
Andy, I think both the project manager and sponsor need to go back to the drawing board. They need to identify the need of the business, because that is what would motivate the project anyway. So they need to establish clear terms of reference, because with the clear terms of reference, we'll be able to understand what is expected of the project in terms of objectives, in terms of scope, in terms of who is doing what. And I think that would help address the issue there.
Okay, thank you very much, Yao. And let's have one for Jerry, our Agile expert here. What should a project manager do if there are no clear roles, responsibilities, and accountabilities assigned within the project, Jerry?
Okay. Well, firstly, there might not be a project manager at all if we're using just Scrum, for example. If we're using something like Prince2 Agile or DSTM, then during the startup phases of either of those approaches, you are looking at putting your team together. And if you can't get your team together at that point, that should really be being referred back to where it came from. So you shouldn't get to that position.
Okay, Jerry, thank you very much for that. Let's look at something else now. We've got a question come in from an experienced project manager, Idris Shah. And this question is going to go out to all three panel members. And the question is, how do you implement lessons learned? And I'd like Emmy, please, if you could address that one. Thanks.
So from a change management point of view, every project should start with a charter. So you should determine what goals the project team need to achieve, what roles they're going to have, and who they're going to be, and how they're going to work together. During that conversation, you're going to have some really challenging decisions. So as a project manager, your first question should be, when I fail as a project manager, and I will, what do we do? That allows everyone to bring their experience and those lessons logged to life in a practical and applicable way. So remember, project managers, you will fail. Plan together for how you'll deal with that.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmy. And the same question over to Jerry. How do you implement lessons learned?
Yeah, very good question. In Agile terms, it looks at whether we're looking at the unstructured Agile, the core stuff like Scrum, or whether you're looking at more structured. But equally, they have the same basic concepts in there. Every Agile approach learns lessons throughout each package of work. At the end of every package of work, those lessons are applied to the next package. So it's a constant process, and that builds up to an end of project lessons learned, which can then be applied to the next project.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry. And Yao, from a business analysis point of view, how do you implement lessons learned?
I think lessons learned plays a key role in identifying potential risk, because with lessons learned, we're able to refer to past projects, and that would give us an idea of potential risks that could emerge. And with that, we're able to mitigate such risk very well.
Okay, thank you very much, Yao. Well, I'd like to thank the three panel members joining us today, Emmy, Yao, and Jerry. And I'd like to say goodbye, but please join us next time as we continue the series of the podcast, The Secrets of Project Management, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is Andy Morris signing off. Thank you. Good night.